why not bring you another playoff stash this week? Brought to you by our friends over at Wingstop. And we're talking about Michael Carter. 5 carries, 18 yards, had 5 receptions for 30 yards, good enough for 9.8 fantasy points. Michael Carter looks to be the next man up in this Cardinals backfield with James Conner unfortunately going down after what was a really nice day for him so far.
He was incredible. James was yesterday.
And he has been all season. I feel like we just came off of saying that we talked in the early part of the year about James Conner. You could get him at a value because you always banked on him missing time with injury, and you had Trey Benson as the backup. And we just were saying he's had a remarkable year. He's been consistent, solid, and he's been healthy. And then, unfortunately, yesterday, exits the game in the third quarter. He originally went to the medical tent, was questionable to return. If you saw, he was getting twisted around his right knee. You see it kind of snap back into hyperextension. No indication of the severity of the injury yet, but obviously he didn't return. Remember, Amari DeMarcado on injured reserve because of the back. Trey Benson with an ankle out yesterday. DJ Dallas was sick. And so that's how you ended up with Michael Carter. And that's where you are this week.
And so, we have zero clue on James Conner. They play on Saturday night. I could not find a thing from any of the local porters yesterday.
There's
nothing from Jonathan Gannon.
This is one of those they'll be testing, and you'll probably hear in a day or two.
Here's the hope. This is the hope for James Conner. The hope is that it's not serious, right? Mm-hmm. The other hope is I believe, and I could be wrong here, that if it's something that James Conner has a chance to play through, he'll play through it. And here's the reason why. Having the best season of his career. He's the heart and soul of that team. They did not extend him by accident a couple weeks ago, right? They gave him a big contract for a guy who's an aging running back.
Yep.
On top of that, as we all know, famously, James Conner has never played a full season. I bet it means more to him than it does the average running back to be out there for 17 games. So I'm super hopeful. I have no indication that I should be hopeful, but if there's a guy that's easy to root for, it's him. We would have talked about this a whole lot sooner if it had happened like the first quarter. But because James Conner mashed before he got hurt, he had 26-plus fantasy points. It's like you can't be that mad because you're probably going to the championship if you have James Conner.
Well, he's been crushing it so far in that backfield, and that's kind of the hope that I have is if you lost James Conner and you have to go out there this week and grab someone off waivers, Michael Carter would obviously be the next man up with all the injuries that you mentioned in this backfield, Stephania. He seems like he would be the guy that you could rely on if you had a weak running back depth on your bench. Michael Carter would be that next guy. Phil, do you remember off the top of your head, who do the Cardinals play here in week 7?
They play Saturday night against the Rams in Los Angeles.
Okay.
8 o'clock. So one less day for James Conner to get ready. So again, we have no idea, but God, I'm hoping. Just such a talented player. He's played so hard. They're eliminated from the playoffs.
But if I know anything about the NFC West, and I will tell you, I do know a thing or two about the NFC West.
Yeah.
What would they love more than to just make it be a bad day for the Rams? They don't care that they're eliminated. They would love nothing more than
I have no info whatsoever, obviously. None. But do I think there's a chance he plays Saturday night with zero info? I do. If you accounting for all the intangibles, without accounting for the most important part, which is how messed up his knee may or may not be, I could see him.
I'm going to hope that if you stash Michael Carter for the playoffs, that he delivers you the same kind of performance that Jerome Ford just delivered for managers filling in for Nick Chubb. So go out and grab Michael Carter. That is our playoff stash brought to you by Wingstop.